charge of priority 4 governance, under which the seed money facility is located. And with me is my colleague Alpert Kovac, which comes from the financial side and is also in charge in general terms for the seed money facility. We will give you today a general introduction into that seed money facility. That introduction will cover basically everything but the content and the topic side, the thematic side of the seed money facility and your potential projects. So we will talk about rather technical issues with a focus on how the application process in the electronic monitoring system in GEMS is working, and for let's say thematic and topic related guidance, there are other sources of information, and there will be a slide later on it. The setup of the meeting is such that we have now some, let's say, a general overview over the framework of the seed money facility with a PowerPoint presentation. And later on, and that will be the focus of the event today, we will go into GEMS and we will go through each step related to how to prepare and submit an application form in GEMS. Now, let me start PowerPoint. I assume everybody can see it. Here we have that little plant we always use for presentations on the seed money facility, which is a bit trivial to use it, but hard to avoid at the same time because it captures very well the very character of the seed money facility as we do it. Namely, if we talk about the general scope, we see it as a tool for kickstarting the development of strategic projects and other large-scale initiatives in case for the USDR to be later on financed by any other financing instrument. This is an important point because we don't understand under those projects standalone projects, be it small projects or micro projects or whatever. We finance the project generation. We just water a little bit the little plant, and after it, a big gardener will come, another funding instrument, and will cultivate the plant until it provides fruits. A further feature, which is also rather obvious, but it has to be underlined, is that the seed money facility has to be clearly in line with the USDR action plan and has to clearly relate to one or more priority areas. The seed money facility is one of the three direct support mechanisms we have in our program for the USDR, the other two being direct support for the priority area coordinators and the DSP. And the seed money is the third one. So if you think in developing a seed money project and you are wondering about the topic and what is wanted, don't go to our program website, but go on the websites of the USDR, of the PAs, contact directly the PACs, and make up your mind basically based on the guidance you get there. For technical guidance, of course, and financial questions, we are the right addressee. The overall budget of the seed money facility is 3,600,000 Interreg funds. On top comes 20% co-financing, and the maximum budget by a priority area is 300,000 euro. Key documents, I put it here already on the first slide because it's crucial. It's the call announcement and the seed money facility program manual. There are other documents, background documents, which give you further clue about what is the Danube program and so on. Feel free also to have a look on those, but I mentioned here 2 documents which you have to know. You should have a proper look. The call announcement anyway is rather slim, and also the seed money program manual is kept in a rather, let's say, handy and informative way. Both documents you have to have read before going in the development of a project. Time frame. The call is already opened last week, Monday. It's a one-step procedure. So here on the mentioned submission date, the 29th of March, you submit your full application package, which then is subject of assessment and approval or rejection. Deadline is the 29th of March. I already mentioned that. Don't wait until the very last moment, cannot be mentioned often enough. Submit well in advance. The time frame in which the call is opened is quite opulent, let's say. It's more than 4 months, and that gives you for sure enough time to perform all steps in GEMS. Don't shift some steps to the very last moment. The project duration, maximum project duration, one has to say, is 12 months. If you can do the tasks in a shorter time frame, it's possible. Some words also later on, because it has to do with that very project structure which is requested. And the estimated starting date of the project is May 25, which appears to be a bit late, but the seed money call is running in parallel with other calls, so it's a workload issue. Plus, the starting date will also heavily depend on the number of seed money proposals we get, and we have to deal with. We have to deal with in the assessment. So what you see here is basically the worst case scenario, in a way, that in case we are overwhelmed with applications, so it rather will be earlier than later. The project structure is very particular in the sense that it's clearly different to the type of regular projects we are funding. We request from each proposals which are competitive, 3 compulsory outputs, namely a report on the state of the play, can also name needs analysis, main project work plan, which is basically the nucleus of the main project to be financed, which you have in mind, and a report on funding possibilities, in which you basically demonstrate that you have a clear and targeted understanding about the funding possibilities for the main project envisaged. In addition to that, additional preparatory activities can be financed if needed, if relevant to the topic and the character of the project. I will go a little bit more in detail on the next slide, but first the budgetarian dimension. If you would say you provide only the 3 compulsory outputs, then the maximum indirect contribution is 50,000 euro. And with optional activities, additional activities, it can go up to 100,000 euro. Now, a bit more in detail what we understand among those 4 components. The report on the state of the play. Here we would expect an overview of past and current activities in the field, like projects already implemented or missing, the description of existing gaps, as I said, in terms of projects, in terms of evidence, in terms of tools, whatever. So that should be developed in a clear and targeted way, and you should demonstrate here to us that you basically, first of all, you address needs you address a transnational needs, the Nubian needs, and that you you head towards a niche gaps, and you try to tackle something which has not been tackled so far. The second compulsory output is the main project work plan, which is in first place, of course, to describe the activities, outputs, and expected results of the main project. A second component is to outline the composition of the potential project partnership you have in mind. And a third component is an indicative budget plan for the main project. So all those three sub-elements have to be provided. Third, compulsory output report on funding possibilities. Here we require the analysis of funding sources for the main project, and plus a roadmap defining steps to be taken after the seed money project is finalized. This is important because here basically, kind of we lead you also to look on not only the funding instrument, but is a call open in a realistic time frame, and such considerations which basically outline the path towards a concrete funding through an instrument have to be outlined too. What can we see about additional preparatory activities? Let me start with what we don't understand among them, these are elements which are disconnected, let's say, to the main project, or standalone things like a website for a project which is not existing yet. So there has to be, those are additional activities. There has to be a clear need to have them in the context of a seed money project, and it could be some additional community or stakeholder consultations, participative planning, or sensitization of certain stakeholder groups in fields where cooperation is basically very underdeveloped or starts from scratch. Or socioeconomic studies or other studies which are helping to settle the evidence base in very novel fields you want to go. Which partners can participate? Eligible partners. Here I keep it short. You can find more details in the applicant's manual, which are the program manual, seed money program manual, which, as I highlighted, is a must to read. We cannot go in each and every detail here. Moreover, we try to focus on the presentation in GEMS. So here just a rough overview. Eligible partners are local, regional, or national public bodies, or bodies governed by public law, or international organizations, or private bodies. And a common requirement is that all those partner types have to have legal personality. And then depending on partner type, there are also further requirements to be fulfilled, for example, for international organizations or private bodies, that they declare that they will apply the rules of public procurement and others. The eligibility is something we overview, and it's a program rule. However, this the confirmation of the eligibility is to be confirmed by the national contact points of the Danube Region program. So in case you have doubts about the eligibility of your organization, then you are clearly recommended to contact your NCP, and that in a proactive manner, meaning that you would do it before you submit, before you even start, let's say, going into the preparation of a project. So clear that out with your national contact point. And by experience, we can say that it mainly concerns international organizations, private bodies, but there are also tricky cases, few, but there are among other types of organizations. If we look at the geographical eligibility of the partners, then the partners directly financed, so the main partners, excluding the associated strategic partners, which is the second point, the financing partners have to come from the program area, which are all DRP countries with their entire territory except Germany, since Germany is represented in the Danube region program just by two Länder, by Baden-Württemberg and Bayern. However, also from Germany, other organizations outside those two regions can be eligible if their scope and their responsibility is basically national and also covering the Nubian area of Germany, and which are basically exclusively dealing with the respective topic or thematic field. Footnote here orally also you see on the map that by that map also Ukraine is not covered with the entire territory on that map, but for the seed money facility, also for our regular calls, it was decided that the entire territory of Ukraine can participate in the seed money call. Now let's come to the associated strategic partners. Those are partners which don't have their own budget. They are financed by one of the financed partners. Only travel costs are covered. So those are partners which are important to have on the table if it comes to discussions, strategic discussions, but either they don't want or they not wanted to be in the partnership as full partners. And those associate strategic partners can come from any EU country. And in terms of non-EU countries, they can come from those covered by the program area. Further partnership requirements. Each partnership for a seed money project has to be set up by minimum 2 and maximum 5 partners from at least 2 different countries, the lead partner and at least one more partner. The lead partner can come from either an EU member country or a non-EU member country. This is new in our program now compared to the last programming period. And PPs from Ukraine cannot be lead partners, unfortunately. Technically, basically, it's not realistic due to the martial law in force in Ukraine. And also private bodies cannot be lead partners. Here you have an overview, which is basically repeating and summarizing what I said before. So if put it here in case you want to work later on with the PPT. Some few slides on the budget, eligible expenditure. As already mentioned, we have the 50,000 Interact Fund for compulsory outputs plus some 50,000 up to, in both cases, for the compulsory activities, which gives an overall budget of 125,000. Including co-financing, the eligible costs of the budget in terms of cost categories. It's very simple to say, staff costs only, and all other costs which are part of a real-life project, such as travel and accommodation or overhead costs, administrative costs, or costs for external expertise, are built in here as a flat rate and are 40%, altogether 40% of the staff cost, which makes it rather easy for you to set up the budget, considering also that the system is doing some automatic calculations for you. So it's pretty much simplified the budget structure. What is staff cost? Also here, again, I have to highlight just roughly touching it. There are more details in it, which you can read after, or then eventually clarify with us, with the responsible financial officer, Alpart. So under staff costs, we understand the gross salary, not the net, but the gross salary, meaning the net plus the employer's taxes and social security, including pensions and other employer parts. Staff costs can be claimed either full-time or part-time, and in case of part-time, then a certain fixed percentage has to be applied and proven. The eligibility in time is that all costs are eligible which are incurred between the starting date and the end date of the project, and the payment of the costs can happen between the start date and the end date plus 60 days. Here I come back to the 12 months project duration, since end date of the project is mentioned. So we say 12 months, but since we deal with those 3 compulsory outputs, eventually plus some further additional activities, and applicants flag us that after 10 months they provided those outputs, then we are fine with that. And then also basically the reporting can already start, and the process will be shortened accordingly, including the reimbursement. And this is the next slide, reimbursement of Interreg funds. We have only one reporting period, which is covering the entire 12 months, and accordingly only one report in the very end. Shorter implementation is possible, as I mentioned. And you have to anticipate, this is also, let's say, an important point, that the reimbursement will happen approximately 5 months from the project end, approximately, because it depends on first place on how, let's say, detailed and complete the reports are provided. If the reporting is incomplete, it can lead to a non-reimbursement also of the costs, or if it comes in pieces and has to be done during several revision rounds, then that time frame can be even longer. If the reporting is done in a very accurate way, then it can also be slightly shorter, but this is the 5 months, more or less the average, according to our experience. Compulsory documentation. We come here to the documents which you have to attach to the submission in GEMS. So yes, it's not only an electronic submission by inserting data in GEMS, but you have also to provide certain documents, namely a lead partner confirmation sheet. You find all those templates on our website as subpoints to the SMF project implementation manual. The lead partner confirmation sheet, in which the lead partner briefly confirms that the application form is basically done by the respective institution. Partnership agreement, countersigned by the lead partner and each partner. Statement of co-financing for each partner, a declaration, a state aid declaration, what to list here, sorry, also to be provided by each partner. In case of associated strategic partners, then respective declaration, and the same goes for international organizations. I put that slide here because it leads directly to the next one, and here we come to the topic of the assessment. And within the eligibility assessment, you see here I split it on 2 sides. And again, I will not go into detail with each point, but you see here on the left side some criteria is listed, like that the application form is submitted in English, that it's submitted on time, that the partnership is eligible, and so on. And on the right side, you have some further criteria, like the eligibility of the financing partners, the completeness of the submitted partner documents, and completeness of submitted ASP declarations. And the point here is that if some of the documents, so not all of those eligibility criteria are around documents, but some are. And if the documents are not provided, it can affect either left side, the project, meaning if the documents are not provided at all, then the project is out. Or on the right side, it can affect the eligibility of partners, and theoretically the project could go on then without the partner. However, here would happen also a kind of chain effect, meaning if the partner, the documents for our partner are not provided and it's the lead partner, then also the project would fail. Or if the project is composed only by two partners and the other normal, not lead partner, but the normal partner is not eligible, then it would lead to the failure of the criteria that the partnership has to be composed by minimum two partners. Have a look also that is outlined, or not only outlined, but provided as such, and we deal with the same scheme. So you have it in the seed money implement the program manual, one-to-one, the document we are dealing here, and you should have a look. And in case of question, those are questions you should address us with. Quality assessment. Here you see two questions which are around the very topic of your project and the needs of in that field and how they relate to the USTR action plan. Those two eligibility questions are separated on one slide here because those are assessed by the USTR, which also, let's say, illustrates that if you want to be sure that your topic is relevant to a PA or to the USTR action plan, okay, you can do that by going into the documents. Everything is transparent. There's the action plan. There are further documents to be found on the USTR website and the website of each PA. But of course, you can also directly contact the priority area coordinators, which are, by the way, also running in separate information events. Like, for example, today in the afternoon, we have one of the PA8. So not each PA and in different ways. So this is something we left to the USTR side, how to arrange. But there are some further information offers on the side of the USTR. And again, you can always go to the website, and I don't want to create work for the colleagues from the USTR, but I dare to say that you can also contact the PACs directly in case you have questions regarding the thematic fit and relevance of your project topic. And then we have further assessment questions which will be assessed by us. They are around the transnational dimension of the project, the coherence of the work plan, the partnership, the target groups, and the value for money. And a message here, please have a look on that because it clearly it demonstrates in the most clear way the bottleneck you have to go through. So those are the questions we will pose to you. We don't have statistics on that, but we have the feeling that the way the assessment is done comes by surprise sometimes to applicants, and they wonder why this was so important and so on. Well, the assessment and the questions which are posed to your project in the assessment are clearly outlined in the program manual. Have a look. It really helps to increase the quality of your project and to make the project fit to what is wanted by us. Information and guidance already touched by me here and there. So now again in one slide we have, and those are recommendations. We have on the USDR side the PACs as a possible source of information, or the steering groups, which are behind the PACs and which are composed by representatives of each country. So those actors can be addressed in terms of thematic guidance and ensuring the fit of a project with the USDR action plan and the preferences of a PA. Then we have us, the DRP, MHAS, thematic project officers. Here you get mainly technical guidance, project structure, budget, jams. However, that I will show in the next slide. Also, we are, let's say, structured here in a thematic way. So the project officers to which you will be led have also a certain thematic background, be it environmental or cultural or energy related or whatever. If you have questions regarding the eligibility, please address your national contact point. And the same goes like, I would say, the first and general approach in terms to get guidance could be the NCP. There you get then also the information in local language, which might be a bit easier. So there's no rule in which order to do it, but there are NCPs and they are approachable, and in particular they deal with the eligibility questions. We have furthermore the DRP website. Here you find the documents mentioned by me, and we have also two info events. One is the one of today, and the further one we will do in early 2024, where we will see if it is a mere repetition of the one today, or by feedbacks we get that we set the focus on certain things a little bit more, perhaps. And in addition to those general events, as I mentioned already, the USDR PAs, not all on the same day and not all in the same way, but there will be also events, and have been already offered by each PA, and those are then events and information packages targeted to a certain stakeholder community, for example, in the field of transport or environment or security or biodiversity. So that layer of information is offered by the PAs. If, however, it comes that you would like to address us, then here matrix or what on whom to address. In case of transport and energy, please address my colleague Horst Schindler. In the USDR PA3, the contact person is my colleague Natalia Liholot. Then for the environmental related PAs 4, 5, 6, it's my colleague Gustav Chomor. Innovation related and competitiveness related topics, the responsible project officer is my colleague Katalin Kovac-Kassa. For 9, please contact Stephen Halligan or Natalia. myself, you can approach in case of PA10 and PA11 related projects. And I would be then also the one jumping in if some of the other colleagues is not there. And if you have very particular and specific financial questions, it will be my colleague Arpad Kovac, who is there and happy to reply to your questions. So this was the overview of the general framework of the seed money facility. And now we will straight go into GEMS. I pass the floor for a while now to Arpad, who will show how to get into the project and how to do the partnership section with the focus on the budget. And then I come back and will deal with the other sections of GEMS. We take your comments in Slido, so we collect them. Please feel free to write them down, and then after our presentation, we will go into answering your questions.
Well, thank you, Johannes, and good morning, dear audience. So far we heard about the principles and the framework of this proposal. Now let's see how it goes in the practice. How basically you can how you can submit an application. So here we go. Pretty much this is how GEMS looks like, but your question might be how you can access these GEMS. So you just go to our website and just a moment. You just go to our website, yes, and there you access the details of this corporate proposal. So in the Danube program website, new funding, call for proposals, and you will see the seed money facility call. So you go there and you will find information about the program documents like manuals and guidelines, but it is also there the documents mentioned, the compulsory documents to be submitted or attached to your application in GEMS. These are the partnership agreement declaration for co-financing, state aid declaration. And there is also a link to GEMS. So pretty much you can click it, and if you got this site, no panic, because there are other means to access our web page. It is or the GEMS. It is go how to apply, and there is also a reference to GEMS. We look for it, and it must be here. Just a moment. Yeah. So here, GEMS. It is not capitalized by it is accessible. So we click on it and GEMS login. So this is the and the portal where you can enter the Danube program administrative section. And if you are not already registered, first of all, you need to click on create account. So this is you might be already registered to GEMS, but if you are not, just click on create account. You got a very friendly environment where you insert your email address, name, organization, and upon submission you will get a confirmation email with an activation link. You click on it and then you are ready to log in to GEMS. So then let me just insert my credentials here. Yes, just a moment. at yes, yeah, no, H2 and with a password login. And here we are. You see the list of the calls here. There are different calls, and the call for proposal that we are talking about now is this DRP seed money facility call. We are in a test environment now, so if you see this phrases like test or don't get confused, you won't find this in the real environment. You will just see DRP seed money facility call. Click on apply and you will get directed, and a project will be created for you in the template. Now we have already created a predefined project. So this is for the test purposes, and we already recorded some of the data. But first of all, when you click on apply, you will get this project identification screen where you will need to provide the project acronym. This project ID is automatically created, so no need to worry about it. Maybe you can save it for you, but it is automatic. You insert the project acronym and also a more extended title for the project. You can select the project duration, which is as per the call detail is this 12 months, and you will have one reporting period for this project. And there for the project priority and specific objective, you have only one option, this letter 4. And next to it, you have a specific covenant, the project summary, which is where you can start inserting the very real detail about the project concept. So here you need to provide a concise preview or overview of the project with highlighting the thematic focus and the contribution to the selected priority area. So here I would recommend you make a clear reference to the EU-SDR priority area the project addresses. So the whoever will assess the application will have a clear connection to the EU-SDR priority area the project occurs. If you plan to involve the project partner, that is normal in creating the project description, and you go to project privileges, and here you can add users to this project proposal, and you can select the rights for the user. It can be view, edit, or manage. It is important to know that only users with managing rights have the credential to submit the application. If there are audiences who are already familiar or who have already project contracted, you know that there in a later phase might come. So this section is divided per project partners, but with this application form phase, you will just find this section where you can add any user from any project partner, and it will appear in this list. Precondition for a user, of course, as we told, the user needs to be registered to GEMS. Good. So we are, as now we are over, let's say, with the project identification. You need to create project partners like the LP and PPs. So we have already created here the LP user, and we have a project partner. If clicking on the add new partner, So it will bring a new project partner to the project, and here I will guide through. Basically, this is the section to create the project partner and to record a budget for the partner. So first of all, you do need to select whether that partner is a lead partner or a project partner. In our case, we just select it is a project partner. Let's say abbreviated name. I call this project partner as PP3 demo. Yes. And for the sake of simplicity, I will just copy this name to because this is the abbreviated name, and there is also the name of the organization in original language and the name of the organization in English. I do use the same names for both. Department, unit, division. Let's say project division. Yes. Legal and financial information. If we click, you will see you can select the type of authority. I mean, whether it might be a local public authority, regional public authority, national public infrastructure, and you can scroll further down and select the institution that is matching your or the project partner's profile. Let's presume now, for the sake of demonstration, we are talking about local public authority. And of course, for a local public authority, the legal status is public. Yes. VAT number is not mandatory, but if you insert it, that's very welcome. And the next question, is your organization entitled to recover VAT? Let's say partially it is, so we click on it, and then we click on create. So as you see on the left side of the screen, so PP3 demo has been created, and here in the upper part of the screen you will see the sections that needs to be populated to record the project partner. You don't need to do this in one shot. You can click on other project partners. You can click on project overview tables, project identification, then come back to the respective project partner and continue with recording. So we have already populated the identity tab of this platform, and now the next one is dress, which is self-explanatory. For the country, let's consider this example for Romania. Not two region, let's say northeast, and let's see not three regions like Botoșani. Street 1, house number 3, let's say postal code 1145, city Botoșani. Yes. Okay, that is good. So address and department of unit division again. So we go to Romania. I use the same details. Northeast. So here Iași, and I need to select here also Iași. But as you can see, it's not possible. So I can just drop this. And in case we have dropped, we still have the whatever information we have previously saved. So now again, country Romania, not two region, let's say northeast, not three, let's make it Iași, 3, demo house number 3, postal code, city. Yes. And again, address of department, unit, division, Romania, Odessa. Yes. With the C detail, house number 3, yes, postal code, city. And click on save. It is very important you save the changes because once saved, those data are stored in the system, and you can just navigate wherever else you want, and then you can return and continue with the recording. Contact details. Here you say the data on legal representative of the organization. So I would bring your attention that data recorded for legal representative, it is best if it matches the person who will sign those documents like partnership agreement, declaration of pre-financing and co-financing. So we can counter check whether that person is indeed the legal representative of the organization. So for the title, let's just put Mr. Mr. Danuts. Last name, let's put Vasila. Contact person. Let's presume it is the same person. Title Mr. First name. Last name. You insert email address and the telephone number. Okay, and click on changes. It is very much recommended that you insert an email address for this person. Notes, yes. Just a moment. Where it is on. Dot zero at demo dot com. And we know that this email address has been so this is a correct email address because we will use it for information purposes to inform about the outcome of the application in case of the lead partner. So we have recorded their contact details, and here comes the motivation section, which is already a very important content part of this of the application, because in this section you need to you need to express thematic and territorial competence of the project partner or of the lead partner, and experience is relevant for the project. That is also important for us to get a picture about that project partner, how competent or what experience the project partner has, and it is also recommended to advise why a certain PP is needed in the partnership for achieving the project objectives. So we have already seen two important content related fields here: the partner motivation and contribution, and also the project identification, the project summary. And now I go back and to the motivation, and let's insert here a demo text, which of course your text will be more elaborated by, for the sake of simplicity, I just insert the demo and click on save changes. and we are good to go forward. And we got to the budget section, which is a very important section. Yes, but you can see it is very simplistic because there is only one cost category that is eligible and that can be reported, that of the staff cost. So you come and click here, add, and you can, the only field active is this one at the left. And let's insert here presumed budget, which is, let's say, 40,000, and this is only for the staff cost. So no additional details can be inserted, but the total amount for the staff cost of the project partner. Then click on Save Changes. And next to it, an important step, click on the Other Costs flat rate. So by clicking the flat rate, you will activate this flat rate option, that is 40% of the staff cost that has been inserted. And don't forget to click on Save Changes. Now we can scroll up, and here it is a display on the partner's budget, which is, we have seen 40,000, and the system has automatically calculated 16,000 by clicking on the other cost flat rate. So the total gets 56,000. Now, if you are a position of the lead partner, you can also click on or project overview tables, and that will bring you a report on the total project level budget. So here you can review it, and then let's just go back to our project partner for demonstration. So we was at the budget. We have seen this partner's budget is 56,000, and the next step is to advise on co-financing. As we already know, the Interreg fund co-financing is only one option, Interreg fund, and the system calculates the Interreg contribution to this project partner's budget, which is 44,800 in this case, and it tells the partner contribution needs to be 11,200. Yes, and this is correct. And now the question might arise that this 11,200, which is a partner contribution, we know that it can be entirely an own contribution, and but there are, in many cases, there is a possibility for a state contribution. So let's just presume, or we know that in case of Romania, so there is a state contribution of 18% to the partner's budget. So we will quantify it, and here, origin of partner contribution, we say it is public. And let me just quickly calculate it. Like 56,000 I apply, and the remaining percent is 2%. So I insert here 1,120. Yes, it does 2%. And in addition, we need to record the state contribution. And we can do that by clicking on Add New Contribution Origin. And we are there. And we have three options: public, private, or state. We just select state, and we need to insert here the difference, which is 10,080 euro. 10,080 euro, and we need here for the contributions. You can see there is an overview section where we can see the subtotal public contribution and subtotal state contribution with a total of 11,200, matching here the partner contribution. And now the save changes should have been active. It is not. Why? Because there is a mandatory field, name of the contributor institution for state contribution. Let's just insert, presume there that it is the finance ministry. Finance ministry, yes. And we are there now. The save changes button got activated and we can click on it. And the budget for this project partner has been recorded. As you can see, we got to the end of recording the project partner, and yes, you have the option for to overview the project section D, project budget per fund, and now you can overview. You have an overview on for all project partners and the breakdown on funds. I would bring your attention here that for each partner, as we have as it has been advised, the declaration on pre-financing and co-financing and the stated declaration needs to be submitted, and for the project, the partnership agreement, and in the declaration and pre-financing and co-financing, the values selected needs to match those that are here. So for example, for PP3 demo, in the declaration of pre-financing and co-financing, we need to see the status of the partner selected as public. The public contribution needs to be, reflect 1,120, and also the state contribution, which is 10,080. So the document of pre-financing and co-financing needs to match this overview section here for each partner. And you can also have an overview partner per cost category, which is simplistic because we only have staff cost, and for other costs, this is the 40% flat rate that has been computed. So far we can see that the budget of this project for demonstration purposes is 70,000 euro, out of which LP has 14,000, PP3 has 56,000, and we can see there is no budget recorded for PP2. So if we would like to do that, we can go to PP2, go to the budget section, and just like as we did previously, we can add the budget for PP2. So this was an example to record one project partner, but you do the same for recording each partner. You do the same for recording the LP, project partner 2, project partner 3, and so on. And that would be all regarding on recording project partners. And to complete the next sections, I would like to hand back the floor to Johannes, who will guide you through the other sections to be populated for this application. If you have questions, maybe you can note it, and at the end, at the Q&A section of the seminar, please feel free to raise it. Thank you.
Thank you, Apat. And we will go now through the remaining sections of one application. We did the identification, we created the partners, and you see here that in the order, the next one is project relevance and context. On top of each text box to be edited, you see some guiding questions, which are rather self-explanatory. So I can just read them down and comment a little bit on top, but they are in fact yeah, rather self-explanatory. So the first one is, what is the theme of the main project to be developed? Please mind here that we are talking about the main project and the challenges tackled, including the main objective and the expected results of the main project. There's a second one. Within the thematic field of the main project, what is the relevance of the challenges described to the USDR action plan and the priority areas? And those two boxes or two criteria, they seem to overlap a little bit, but please note that the second one is about to relate your wider thematic field, and there are topics which can mean a lot, like smart specialization, for example, or circular economy, or sustainable tourism. Those are broad concepts, and in that second box, C22, see it as your task to more specifically link and to link in a very concrete way your topic to the USD action plan and the priority areas. If you go to for those which are not that familiar with the USDR yet, so if you enter into contact with the PAs, you will see that some priority areas also have working groups on certain topics, which indicates that those topics are more important and so on. So all those aspects have to be considered here, and the stronger and more detailed you design the linkages to the USDR here in C22, the better. The next box refers to the estimated geographical scope and potential other partners to be involved in the project. Here, of course, the background is that although the seed money project theoretically allows to have only two partners, with the main project you are designing actually, a broader impact is expected. And since you should contribute to the USDR, and the USDR is the Danube strategy, so you should describe here basically how the Danube-wide and or at least broader impact of your project could look like. Target groups. Please describe how the target groups will be involved in the development of the main project. So describe here by picking on one of the target groups proposed in the drop-down menu. I pre-inserted here higher education research organizations, and then specify, not just repeat the label, but specify how they will be involved. This target group will be involved in the development through by, and then add details. What are your concrete steps how to involve the target groups? More is not more here. The target groups, the number and the kind you select should fit. They should be relevant. This is the main point. You should not miss any important, and the specification should be meaningful. This is an important point. It's an important point because especially you are a seed money project, but the main project should have a much wider outreach, and that you can indicate here. Next, section 2.5 is the one in which you should provide information on the contributions of the main project to strategies. There's one option in the drop-down menu out of the four is again the Danube strategy. Please outline again what is your contribution here. I choose here also territorial agenda 2030. Again, that should not be blank, but a concrete contribution should be outlined here. And then under other, and since only 3 options are predefined, so it might be rather probable that you also you contribute to other frameworks like New Leipzig Charter or European Bauhaus or whatever. So in case this is the case, then choose other and describe it. If you have more, then again choose other and you can go for European Bauhaus. Something. Save changes. Always do that. Don't do it with the enter button. That can lead to unexpected results, such as the formulation provided in the GEMS in instructions. Just use that button save. By that, we would have filled the section C2, project relevance and context. The next one is not applicable. C3, just skip it, and we come to the work plan, to the core, basically, of your project. We pre-created here 2 outputs. You have to add one more, and I do that now. Just the report on funding. And with that, excuse me, again, the reminder that the 3 compulsory outputs are all the 3 as a whole. They are compulsory. So if you would submit only 2, the project would not be funded. You see here that one further box given here is a short overview on the proposed activities. You are expected to outline those activities below, but here you are expected to give a summary, and then it comes a non-applicable field. On a further tab, under a certain output, you can add activities. And you can, here it could be the preparation or preparatory research on funding possibilities. You can add only one period. By default, it's only one, and the same goes with the end period, so you cannot make any mistakes here. Here comes then the very description of the activities. You have 3,000 characters. You can use those 3,000 characters, and you should use those 3,000 characters if we consider that a detailed description of an activity is always giving us a better, let's say, understanding of what you have in mind, by whom something is done, when, what, and how. Please start. This is also highlighted in the guidelines. Please start by indicating the budget, like 10,000 euro, for example. Oops. I don't want to go too much into details regarding the layout, but if you then would leave a space, one line, you see that it's just taking 2 characters away, so you don't lose much, and the budget would appear in a highlighted way, and then you can go into describing the activity. You see below the activity deliverables. Deliverables are the intermediate steps, let's say, concrete steps, outcomes, which lead to the output. You are not obliged to define those deliverables. However, we would expect that at least for most activities, such deliverables exist. Same way you create it by clicking on plus. You can name them, you should describe them, and there's one delivery period, no rocket science here. Deliverables again, so no obligation to break down each and every activity into deliverables. On the other side, it might be that an activity has more than one deliverable. Depends also on the scope of an activity and the budget. And the deliverables should reflect the concrete outcomes in terms of intermediate steps leading to an output. And they are quite useful actually from a program people side to say in terms of better understanding what in concrete you want to achieve. Save changes. And the further tab is not applicable. Not much more can be told about that activity and outputs section. There's no limitation in terms of number of activities, but a reasonable cluster of activities would be expected under each output. And if we go now back to the overview and you have those additional activities, then please create one more output, and the output is additional activities. And you start to again summarize the activities, and you create the activities, and you will add deliverables and so on. Let's proceed. C5 is a non-applicable section. The project time plan is auto-generated and not too meaningful since we have anyway only one period. And then comes next section, project management. Here in the first editable box, you are asked to describe how you will manage your project. Seed money projects are small projects. We would not expect it too complex and heavy, let's say, structure of your management, internal management of the project, but still there's something should be reasonable, it should be effective, should be transparent, and you should describe it, and including the communication work you have in mind to do. Which measures will you take to ensure the quality in your project? Please outline your quality management approach, which can be different appearances, can be an external, let's say, approach towards ensuring your quality of your project, internal one, blended. So here you are free to reflect on how you want to ensure that. And we have further non-applicable fields. Then we come to the section of cooperation criteria. Those are by default to be included in each application. They come directly from the regulation, and it's an eligibility criteria to have addressed at least 3. So yeah, again, eligibility criteria, meaning you don't address 3, you address only 2, your project is out. So think over if you have a joint development of your project. In most cases, this might apply because together you think out your project. Also, joint implementation might be given by default since you have the two partners at least cooperating. However, it can be that the two partners are just listed but actually not cooperating. So those criteria are also, let's say, can be understood as points to lead you to the thought that you have really to cooperate in such projects and not just to follow separate strings and actions. Joint staffing is the fact that the staff from both or more than two organizations are jointly working on the project, and the joint financing refers to the financing of the project through one source and is joint for the partnership. Further to that cooperation criteria, which are eligibility relevant, again, I highlight it's you will be asked about horizontal principles, which are not eligibility relevant. And here we have sustainable development, the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights, gender equality, non-discrimination, and third one, strategic environmental assessment. I don't want to be go into detail here. I think they can be understood. They can also be, the background is provided a little bit in the program manual of the seed money facility, and give authentic ratings here if you are positive, neutral, or negative. Or such effects can be expected from your project, and don't forget always to explain also why you choose one or another option. That's all about the project management section. And the last tab you are expected, or the last section you are expected to edit is the one C8 project context. Here you are asked about the financing instruments you already have been able to identify. You should describe if your project, the main project you have in mind, will be a standalone project or part of a bigger project. The standard case it will be that you plan a standalone project. However, the scheme and the scope of the scheme as such allows it and gives it that you would also, let's say, design an initiative which is then feeding into a larger one, the already ongoing one, eventually tackling a certain thematic aspect of a larger initiative or project which has not been tackled yet, etc., etc. So this is possible, but you should describe it here. And then comes not applicable field, which is the technically seen the last field here in our presentation. And that brings me to the point that in case you face problems at the submission, at the submission stage, I can go here, that check function is not working. Basically, it's not set, so it will not help you. And if we talk about those non-applicable fields, it can happen that the system will not allow you to submit an application because you did not edit it. So we recommend to you to enter into each of those fields. Probably see with the keyboard. Non-applicable, and then it's solved. So you just have to insert something. Yes. So that's it. You have here that with that arrow, it will lead you to run pre-submission check, and you So by also the speed, how quickly basically the submit project application bottom appeared that there's nothing behind, it's empty. And then you can submit your application. Before submitting it, please don't forget to attach the documents I mentioned before, which can be done here in that section, application annexes, and you can simply go on the upload button and attach those documents. And with this, we end our simulation in GEMS. And we go in the last part of our event, which is the answering of questions and answers. When registering, we already recorded some questions you had. It happens that we think that some of them are already answered by the presentation we gave, and we will not go into them again, assuming that, but still now, if this is not the case, then we are mistaken, and feel free to repeat your question in Slido. So then I see that Apat, you have some from the registration which you want to answer for, but let me be here on the table first, and I see what are the questions, and then Apat, you come for the financial ones. So we have one question: is there a state contribution available in Hungary? Yes, there is. Please ask for details our colleague Bela Hegyesi, which is sitting a floor lower than us here in the building and is waiting for providing you with details. Next question: can a Ukrainian community located in the zone of possible hostilities submit a project? Please answer in writing. I cannot answer in writing, or I answer now. If you are still here and you listen to us, then feel free to address us also with an email, and then I'll provide a written answer. Otherwise, let me clarify that anyway, you cannot submit a project. As we said, Ukrainian partners cannot be lead partners. And otherwise, it's not ruled from our side. So we don't distinguish. We say actors from the entire territory of Ukraine can participate in the seed money call, and we are not distinguishing between areas affected by hostilities and those which are not. This is the answer. Will you upload the video of this webinar? Usually we do that. Yes. Could you please detail more on the additional preparatory activities? I cannot, since you should tell me which others than those which we mentioned you have in mind, and then we tell you and give you our opinion. So this is a new feature. We had already one seed money facility which was only composed by 3 compulsory outputs, the projects. We added that dimension after discussing and being in contact with the stakeholders, and we had the impression that this might be needed, at least in certain cases. So we put there in the documents in the PPT what on that let's say basis of experiences, what we think what that could mean. And otherwise, if you have ideas which are different to those, then please address us and we discuss it. And then, can one organization participate in 2 different projects addressing different goals? Yes, this is possible. This is possible. I mean, we have large organizations like technical universities of capital cities, which cover whatever. And or also ministries have a very wide scope. This is one thing why that is absolutely normal, let's say, or should not be prohibited. What we or I don't want to be misunderstood in that point. So we don't promote that you go for that massive application and just to hop on there and there and there. It's not meeting the spirit of any call we run in general, and it's also not very effective, to be frank. So you don't do yourself a favor with that. If you are interested seriously in the seed money call, you have 2 or 3 initiatives in different fields which are interesting for you, then this is possible. So then no more questions I see here in Slido. So from my side, from the project officer and thematic side, this is it. I give back the floor to Arpad, and then Arpad, since you are sitting in front of the audience, I kindly ask you also to close the meeting after it, okay?
Thank you, Johannes. And thank you, the audience, for the questions. And at registering and even now, there was questions on state contribution. Let me just exemplify how you can access more information on state contribution, whether it doesn't matter whether it is from Hungary or from other states. Yeah. So I'm just trying to share the screen, and here I will advise you to go to the Danube Programs web page. Yes, and here in New Funding, How to Apply section, you click on How to Apply, and at the very bottom of the page is this information on control system and national co-financing system in partner states of the Danube region. So click on it, and there is this document displayed pretty much where you can search for your state, like let's say Hungary. So here you will find a table with partner state Hungary, where you can find information on the control institution. This is not relevant in the phase of the application, but it is also told there, is there a national co-financing system for state contributions? So it does yes. And your contact person for the state for the state contribution, which is the national contact point, and in case of Hungary, it is Béla Hegyesi. With his contact details, you can see your telephone number, email address, and summary information on their national co-financing system, where you can find the exact rate, pretty much what is the co-financing for the respective state. So here you can see the exact values, and so forth for the other countries. So you can this table is available for all other 14 countries that participate the program, and yes, so that is the main source you can get information on co-financing. So by the end of the day, our presentation came to an end. Hope we have answered all the questions, all your questions. If not, can be found here. Good day. Yes, those that have to made in English, that's correct. So there was a question whether the application, language of the application needs to be English. Indeed, so it is very important. The application language is fully English. So thank you very much for your attention. Hopefully we addressed all your questions. If not, please feel free to message us, and we are happy to support. Thank you very much and have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.